usually had a group of death and then one that was easy. This was sort of the compromise that everyone said, okay, this guarantees everyone gets through. Truth is, it doesn't, because there's so many teams and it's hard to prepare. It creates an element that underdog teams have a huge chance to actually perform into if they've done any preparation at all, any map work at all, because they, as opposed to our top 8 or our teams we see at every event, don't have as much on record that people can study.
Absolutely. Well, Matthew, there is one name we haven't really brought up as of yet. The German fragging machine, that is tabseN. We've got to say, he is one of the most skilled players arguably at this event. He's up there with some of the big names here. Absolutely.
And again, going back to the whole storyline of this team, we saw him in the minor, and actually saw him a few times before the minor, but leading into the minor, we knew his stats were really high. We knew against Tier 2 teams he was fragging, he was completely capable. We weren't sure what he was going to do against Tier 1, and the first 2 games of the qualifier, I have to say, Nex actually outperformed tabseN. Not that he dropped off, not that he was that far away, but he didn't have that same superstar performance. He's got it back now, and I'm very impressed.
I have to say, I'm glad he brought up Nex as well. He's a player I've been calling out for a while, and I've been saying he used to be so good. It was such an exciting time when he joined Mouse Sports. He just looked unstoppable, especially on the T side, and maps like Dust 2. No one could out-aim him. But then, ever since he left that team, we just haven't heard from him at all. He's been very quiet, but this event seems to be a resurgence for him, which is great. Fragging above tabseN is a very rare thing to happen in this big side.
If you look at Nex's history as well, all of his best performances were when Gobby was beside him or behind him to give him direction, and I think that's a big element of it. Look, Gobby said it straight up. This is a team he built. He wanted these players. There's a reason he has these players. They're tools to him, and he knows how to use them in certain situations. Lagia included. He's been a sidekick of Gobby's for, what, 3-4 years now, if not longer?
Yeah, that's what we heard from the coach on the stage as well, saying that everyone has their role within the Gobby system. It's very regimented. They know what game plan they're bringing to every single server, every single opponent as well. They have a new strategy, and that's one thing you have to love about Big. The way they can execute is really classic Counter-Strike. It's set pieces, it's getting map control, it's working as a unit, not just relying on your big names, and managing to take map control, push the CTs back, and we'll see some really interesting executes coming out. On this map especially, if they go towards the A bomb site, they have these nuts wall of smokes approaches, and no one really does on the A side anymore. They'll do them, they'll blocks off towards stable, they have to build themselves a pathway towards the A site, and they can fake off that as well. They've also got a tunnel they can create towards connector. There's some really cool stuff, and I'm sure they're saving some tricks for these kind of games as well.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that is one thing Godby brings us. We saw smokes on this map, by the way, obviously in Cologne, in a map that Virtus Pro didn't actually win, that were quite creative. I wouldn't be surprised if Godby was either able to replicate those or have his own variation of similar smokes, NIP A smokes or Virtus Pro B smokes, something along those lines as well.
Yeah, I'm sure that tactic will be coming out for some more teams. Why wouldn't it? And it's a shame that Virtus Pro had to deploy it and couldn't win the game, but yeah, players like Godby were watching that and thinking, I can use that within my system. Go big or go home. I like that a lot. We've been trying to crowbar that into our broadcasts recently. I haven't.
There's so many puns with their team name. Like, it's a brilliant name in that way because it's a word you just use so much.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. It's also like frustrating as a customer. It's a word we use generally, right? It's like, okay, no pun intended. I think that's said about 5 times a day when they're involved in stuff. But still, it's a great story. Formed in January, Big have been working together, like grassroots organization, and managed to get themselves the main objective: get to the major first. They went through the full system: open qualifiers, minors, major qualifier. They got to the main event. People thought that was great. They got the stickers. They're going to be able to fund themselves now going forward. But then, here we are. They've made it to a playoffs, and they've taken names down like FaZe and the process as well. Like, that's insane. 3-0 at this sort of event.
For a team to come all the way from the minors as well, that's unprecedented. It's so impressive. We've seen qualifying teams before obviously take over legendary spots, but from the minor system, Big has really gone the distance. And they said they were building this team just to get into this major. They knew that they were a little bit early. Their inception was too near to the E-League major to really have a chance in that. And in fact, I think they may have even formed after that minor system. So this was it. This was all in for this major, and I'd say overachieved, perhaps. We'll find out. I mean, if they can continue this form, it's certainly...
It's so difficult to gauge, right? Everyone says that the Swiss system does benefit underdogs. You get to play maps you're very comfortable on, and you're not really testing anything else. But now, best of 3, unfortunately for Immortals, I think they made a bit of a blunder with this veto. These are 2 maps that Big love to play. Obviously, they're concentrating on stuff they play as well, but it doesn't look like you're going to make Big at least be tested at this point. They'll know exactly what they're doing going into this one. I do feel like Big are the favourites, I have to say. A wireless mouse problem. One of the rare wireless mouse users.
Yes, I think the last time we had a wireless mouse issue was actually ECS Season 1 finals in London, and if I'm not mistaken, it was Automatic or Sick that was using it. I can't remember.
Automatic does use one, but I'm not sure if you have the issue. I don't think I was at that one. But
no, we were.
Oh, yeah, the London one.
The first one, yes. Way back, I know. Sorry, I went very Thorin on you there with my memories.
Fine. Yeah, you have to be careful with me. My memory is not what it used to be.
That's true. You're getting old quickly, but yeah, I mean, Cobblestone as well. Talk us through, I mean, certain aspects of the map. I mentioned Henny because I feel like the AWP has to be assertive to shut down big and try and take down a player early on. Like you say, he may not be on form, but the CTs are going to have to be, specifically Immortals, very aggressive. Yeah,
it's more the T side I'm interested with Immortals. Like I said, I always use this buzzword like flamboyant with Immortals. They seem to just go very fast, stick together, wolf back formations, go for fast map control, especially towards long A, and trying to get those frags. If they get early kills, they're fully committing. They're not falling back, they're not faking, they're just getting in there and locking things down with simple smokes, and that's something they're very good at. As the coach mentioned, Zach, of course, he was saying the team, they've been working on the emotional side of it. If they find themselves in the rut, they go down 0-6, it's very rare to see them bounce back. If they have a great start, they win the pistol, you can expect them to run over their opponents, but it's still an inconsistent team. Done very well to make it to quarterfinals. Their first major, they've tried 4 times, but I wanted to get a bit deeper here. They've always been playing second fiddle to SK Gaming or Luminosity, and finally they're here and have a chance to go one step further than them.
Yeah, I was going to say, go one step further than SK, who many people would have predicted to win this event, meant Astralis in the quarter, which just happened.
Yeah.
And bye-bye SK. Astralis have a good chance to go back-to-back now, perhaps, but, I mean, again, Immortals are going to take that as a feather in their cap and say, listen, we can be the best in Brazil, we've got to do it. We heard them say on stage, we heard Zach say it, you know, we've got to do this for our country now, we've got to get some pride in there
it's
still.
It's always nice to see that they do play with their hearts, and representing Brazil has always been a big deal for them, right? It's a massive Counter-Strike nation historically, always had lots of pedigrees and huge names coming out of that region, and it's an honor, I think, for these guys to be here representing at the major and doing it for Brazil.
Beautiful 360 stage.
It is nice, isn't it? It's great to be out here finally. Been watching all day, like waiting for our opportunity to get out here. It's going to be a lot of fun, I think, but hopefully we can blow the roof off the tower and the venue as well. What do you think about this place? It looks pretty nice, right? You see the LED on the outside of the building?
Beautiful. Yeah, it's actually really, really cool. I think that's I think probably about now it's going to look its best as the sun's going down. Yeah, so this would be a cool spectacle from that perspective for sure. I am impressed. I'm glad to be back as well in the arena. It's been a while since we've been able to be out here with the fans, be able to interact at most events. Yeah, it's really good.
It's reminding me of the likes of like Columbus, perhaps, a couple of majors ago, being out there in the thick of it, getting caught up in the excitement as well, and just kind of playing off the energy of the crowd. It's going to be a lot of fun here, especially when Virtus Pro come on the stage tomorrow. That's going to be nuts. That's going to be absolutely bananas. I can't wait for that.
I'm super thrilled they made it into this event. We didn't have that, I guess, honor, the privilege in Katowice this year, obviously.
Didn't make it through. That was a little bit shocking for them. It's been a bumpy ride, but it's always been said, Matty, they deliver at majors. They're obviously in the grand final of the last one, looking to replicate that form here as well. Still within a shadow doing so. It's looking pretty decent for them in terms of the bounce back. If you look at Cologne, 0-3 there in a similar format, obviously the same. It was a Swiss system. It went 0-3 and it's completely dropped out, but they did show signs of promise, like we described. There was obviously work being done on the strategy side of the game, and we're seeing them have close matches, but couldn't quite get over the finish line. Now in the quarterfinals again, looking to get to that grand final once more.
And the rematch as well from the last major.
That could be so good.
It's definitely a possibility. They have had it once already in Atlanta.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, I mean, like you say, Virtus Pro, they've been trying to get back to majors, finals in general. Las Vegas obviously went well. That was another epic event. That was back when it looked like we were going to have a strong, solid 4 to 5 horse race, and then it's been inconsistency that's plagued most teams.
Sure.
Maybe Astralis have something in it now, because I wasn't sure what to expect from them, obviously, coming in.
Well, I'm getting information that the wireless mouse has been connected. It's been charged. It's ready to go. So,
I hope we get its batteries.
Yeah, can you imagine this beginning to charge a wireless mouse? Interesting. I'd always be so scared as a pro player to even think. I just in my head be thinking it's got to be delayed. It can't be 100% accurate. But from what I've heard, they're very, very good now.
He is testing it right now, so.
There it is.
The new ones are way better. I remember my brother had a wireless mouse, our first wireless mouse, and I hated it. I couldn't touch it. I didn't want anything to do with it. Throw it in the bin.
I guess when I was playing, it was for like 2008, and I don't think the technology was really there at that point to even trust that. I think there's a few on the market that are designed for gaming, but it's cool they're being used, and it looks like the gear will be the player testing it out, as you said, and will be underway momentarily. I can see the votes coming in, so they are getting ready to play at this point. This is the best of 3. We start on Cobblestone and move into Inferno, where Big, that'll be their 4th showing at this tournament on that map, and they'll have a chance to show us how good they can be on that T side once again. In terms of the Cobble start, though, it's going to be Immortals on the CT side, and Big kicking things off on the Terrorist. And I'm interested to see what they bring to the table. Of course, one player that really stands out for me on the Immortals side, it has to be Bolts. Like, he's looked fantastic ever since his journey. That's why I love the minors and the major qualifiers. You actually see how teams develop as those tournaments go on. So we see them at a minor, and then they come back like 2 weeks later and play the major qualifying, see what they've worked on, and seeing what weaknesses they had at that previous event, and they look better and better. Same story goes for Immortals. Now that the major probably looking their best, we've seen them in quite a long time. And you have to remember, KNG only joined, what, a few months ago. Like, this is still quite a fresh change for them, losing FNX, their best player.
Well, exactly that. Coming back, FNX is the only player in the history of the CSGO majors to have a 100% win rate at majors, obviously. He left SK just before E-League. They played with Fox, as a matter of fact. For those of you who don't remember, had a semi-final berth with him on board. But then, KNG replacing FNX in this lineup, I didn't know what to expect. And again, I mentioned it with Big, unprecedented to go through the minor system. They did the same thing on their side. So very, very cool. And fast development to bring KNG into it. Like you said, he's known for AWPing in the past, and now he's sort of second fiddle to Henny, and he's still fitting in and making it work. Bolts definitely has a system he's been running. And he's another player that came out from the leadership of Fallen when they made the two-man replacement, including FNX in that transfer, interestingly enough. So it was FNX and Taco that replaced Steel and Bolts at the time.
Bolts in game leading as well, and high fragging. There's no issues there. He is not a player that's been stifled whatsoever by having the captaincy role. He's looked very, very good. Potentially their best player, I would say, generally in the last few months. He's looked fantastic. Obviously, he used to play in the Luminosity/SK lineup as well, and now moved down to, I guess, arguably a lesser team. They're still in the tournament, of course, but they're doing great stuff with Immortals, and hopefully we can see them maybe get a little further here. We'll see what happens. I'm very interested. I'm a big fan of both of these teams, I have to say. Big, just for me, like the coolest school of Counter-Strike I come from, is about these tactics. It's about this map control, slow-paced gameplay, and having a strategic approach to every situation. Immortals, the exact opposite. It's more CSGO style, right? That's like just kind of fanatic at their very best. It's a very similar approach in terms of sticking as a unit, hitting shots, and we'll see whether they can step up here today. I do feel like, though, Big, I've got my money on them if I had to. If you had to ask me, that's where I'm going with it. And so I can see no headsets are on that. Maybe we do have
Leguy is still running around the spawn, swinging his mouse back and forth as quickly as possible, so I don't know if he's trying to feel out 100% that there is no delay.
Great advert for the mice, of course.
Of course, of course. We didn't mention brands. We're safe.
Yeah. But looks like headsets are off. There's a couple of admins in there. The walkie-talkies are out, trying to work out what the problem is. Might be a PC change or something, we're not sure. But we'll have a look.
Tabson as well, by the way, is on wireless, so.
Oh, really?
I'll be able to compare.
Giving it a go. Well, Tabson, like we said, in terms of skill, he's up there as some of the very best. Like, you probably wouldn't want to mention his name in the same breath as like Fallen, Nico, Device, but in terms of raw skill, I'm telling you, he's going to get there eventually. Like, he's coming, and he's coming from tier 2, hasn't played at this level for a while, and now looking better than ever, like the highest fragger on the big team. I feel like he's going to be something very special as he develops as a player himself, and as he gets more experience at these bigger events with this lineup. Like, he just seems to be top fragger. Like, I used to say to him, if it's one of those games that Tabson turns up, they've got a real chance of winning. He turns up every game, Matt. He doesn't ever drop off. Every single game he's there, and just when they need him as well. Like, when they're up against the ropes trying to close the game out, if you remember the major qualifier, he just runs an upper B platform on this map, sprays 4 people down, and just gets the job done. Like, when they need him.
It's Olaf-esque.
Yeah,
their straps on this map used to be like, let's call it timeout. Okay, what can we do better? Olaf, just go kill people. Walk out B platform and get 2 or 3 kills on entry, and that was how they'd win a much needed round.
Those interviews when they actually said, no, we didn't really come up with a strategy. We just said, Olaf, can you just go kill everyone? He's like, yeah.
All this time we thought Pronax was a genius.
Yeah, it's just like
Olaf.
Just Olaf doing his thing.
Well, the vote, I think, is about to hit 10. I think we're about to get underway, Henry.
Hopefully, I'm getting excited. I've got some butterflies in my stomach as well. Imagine what the guys are bigger feeling. First major, the lineup, same for Immortals as well. Both the challenger teams here in the quarterfinals. We're going to have a challenger in the semis. That's guaranteed. That's quite an exciting prospect, I think.
Very exciting. I mean, again, looking at their side of the bracket, North and Virtus Pro are who they would match up against. Virtus Pro can be, I think, possibly hit another level in an arena like this in front of their home crowd. This could be when the plow does start rolling, so it's a very scary thought. I know that North, they're going to want blood against Config.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's going to be great. Fantastic game coming up there. But I can confirm, Matthew, the game is about to begin. 30 seconds until we're underway. As I said, Immortals starting the CT side. Crowd, you still with us? That's good. That's good to know. This is going to be one hell of a game, I promise you that. Thank you for waiting. As we get into it, Immortals CT side big on the terrorist. We'll have a look at the buys and we'll build the hype once the round goes live. It's an amazing looking arena. It's going to be really cool. I love the boost. Love to see the fact we can see the players in their map. And we're out here in the thick of it as well.
So keep in mind, Immortals picked Cobblestone. They're going to start CT side big, are going to be T. That's how we'll get underway. And we are.
Right then, ladies and gentlemen. Immortals versus Big. Make some noise for the first map, Cobblestone. We'll get into it. The buys come through. Big with 3 sets of armor, and of course there's going to be a tactical element to this. 2 smokes, 2 HE grenades, and the flashbangs as well. And they're going to be in the hands of Legia and God B. 1 kit available for Immortals. They've got the smoke as well on the back of Steel. I assume it'll be played towards the B side eventually. They go towards the middle of the staff, trying to get that long air control, and the nades have been used. Look at KNG's, he takes him to the face. Lucky to be alive, he goes down to 22 HP.
Smart spot, this nade on pistols. We know CTs like to get aggressive for information at A long. And after putting the nades there, even though they don't confirm that the damage has been done, they know that likely they have pushed anyone that was there back, so they'll take it over. And already we're looking at execution potential from Big. Bolts aggressive at B. Tapson's one is exchange, one is duel. That gives him the option to work. He's got room to work with on the B side of the map. And if he pushes out drop, he can cut off rotations. They do still have 2 in the A side, 1 outside of the window and connector. Steel's the one that we'll watch for Tapson, but they go. Smoke's not down yet. 2 of them still to come out and play. Lucas caught in the open. Needs KNG to get more aggressive, and he will. Good shot. Lucas still alive, is able to take down 2. And the entrance won't do just yet. Smoke was deployed in front of the stables. Tapson has to win yet another, finds Henny. So still a chance in the round because he can deploy damage from everywhere, walking back in until Steel gets the kill instead. I'll be immediately into a 1 versus 3. We'll have a timeout the next round, but this one's not done just yet. Gobby does pick up the bomb. 41 seconds, but they've triangulated his position. And no peek for KNG to give an easy kill. Decent enough try, does bait one out with the jump. Goes back to the burst fire. He's looking for a little bit of luck. Flash is going to go high left. He'll peek immediately as it detonates. Gives them an opening, but double peek play Immortals gives them the pistol.
Immortals do indeed pick up the pistol there. Nice approach from Big. You can see they have a bit of information as the CT set up their double HEs at long A, which actually connected, took KNG down to 22. He fell back. That's what they're trying to do, establish that map control at the very beginning of the round, get him back towards the bomb side there. He can't really hold that position on such low HP as well. They went for the ace play. It was Tapson who did such a good job towards drop down. Got the first kill in their favor as well. He wants to do this there, and the smokes, it looked a little bit clumsy, the execution there. They did deploy them towards the bomb side, but there were gaps. It seemed that they were committing before the smokes had bloomed. The flashbangs weren't really effective, and Immortals just mowing them down with the USPs there. Got B left in the 3 versus 1. Did a reasonably good job to get that first kill. I thought he seriously had a chance there as well with the flashbang remaining, but couldn't find the follow-up frags. No bomb planted, and it's that wireless mouse. The little critter. Not working out for us just yet.
Millisecond delay, perhaps. Tapson does not look pleased, and they are going to swap the PC. So full swap to bring in a new tower. Some sort of hardware delay, perhaps, in the motherboard.
So that was Tapson who's got the delay, right? So he was a player who got 2 frags, so it didn't seem like it limited him somewhat. He seemed okay.
Admins are asking them to please put the headsets back on, no talking.
That's true, we should be careful with what we mention. I guess we can't give too much away. But still, Immortals 1-0 here. We have got another 10 minutes. It's good to get another way early, I say, Matt. Fix all the problems now, then we'll have an epic best of 3 coming up. 1 round in. Immortals shouldn't be able to talk at this point if you're not familiar with the Valve rule set. Technical problems, everyone has to be quiet. There's some lounge in there as well.
Yeah. Shout out to JDM.
But should I describe the buy match? I'll leave it. Shall I leave it for now?
We'll leave it for a minute, just to be absolutely sure. Yeah. I do love the booths, by the way. They look fantastic. For a 360 stage, full vision everywhere. Everywhere.
Yeah, I love that.
Looks really good.
Yeah, the glass panels are a really nice addition. I think we've had this set up in other games before, and I don't think we've done it in CSGO. Maybe in Vegas was a similar one.
Similar, but no booths.
Yeah, that's right. But yeah, this is super cool.
And no crowd.
All right, calm down. But, he's just having a nap. Towel on the face, check out, compose himself, perhaps a bit of meditation. Do you meditate, Matt?
Every now and then.
Every now and then? Okay. He's having a bit of a go. So the admin's trying to work out. I don't think there's any technical issues for the lads in Immortals, so that'll be okay. There he is, of course, the Godfather, as he's been known recently.
So much goes on behind those eyes. It's a mind that does not stop when it comes to Counter-Strike.
It's true. So Legia's off the server as well. So maybe they've both got the same issue. Maybe that's the problem right now. And they're out of booth, so we've got to be very careful about what we say at this point. Just, I know you're a professional, just in case, you know.
Definitely not a professional. I fake it.
Fake it till you make it. Well, you're doing all right so far.
Thanks, Henry.
Wow.
So tower swap will mean that they'll likely just pull the SSD from one computer to the other, put it in, and then hopefully the hardware issue is gone. They've got all hands on. It's definitely the same mouse that they're using. I'm not sure exactly which model it is. I'm sure someone already has spotted that on Twitch. We're back.
Hello there.
But rather than us talk,
Let's do it.
yes, hello. I appreciate that. Rather than us talk, we will take a second to speak with the man I did say has the mind that never does stop talking, or thinking for that matter. It's Scott B. Well, confidence is certainly one thing when they play against VP. Interesting thought from Gobby. Is he predicting both of these quarterfinals?
I guess so. He's going for the big names here. He wants to take down the hometown favourites, apparently. And like you said, that means he has to be Immortals first. He thinks it's already a done deal. Maybe he knows someone we don't.
Well, they've lost the opening pistol, but we will find out the rest of the match
Here
now.
We are back. The mice are working. Everyone's on the server. We're going to round number 2. Then will indeed be a force fight for big here. Tech 9s, P250s. They've got some armor to work with as well. The gear opting for more utility than protection. 3 smokes available, flashbangs as well. And we'll get straight into it. It's going to be towards A for now. All 5 players at the top and middle. KNG and Lucas playing very passively on the A-bomb side after taking a nade to the face. KNG maybe just falling back and playing with his teammates more instead of being by himself and vulnerable.
Yeah, he's not going to do that twice. tabseN will clear corner systematically with Gobby and Kiev. tabseN not playing the lurk this time. To start off the round, it's Legia. That one's over toward the B tunnels, but even then, they back off. They want to go as a unit. They want to make the pistols work together.
They've got long A control now, Matt, and they could go for an execution if they wanted. They have the smokes there. 3 of those available. We can smoke towards the connector by the APC in front of the bomb site as well if required. This will give you a safe route, but they want to explore. Now they've left the bomb over towards long A. It's going to be Kiev and Gobby waiting that position. They could go for the A split here. Next and tabseN presumably aiming towards drop down, trying to open things up. tabseN, he might only have a P250, but he is absolutely wild with his weapon. He gets so many frags with the P250, so don't let that thing is going to limit him. As we get into the 40-second mark, tabseN now joined by Legia and Nex. Going to try and possibly flashbang into this one and then go through the connector and try and meet up with Gobby and Kiev at the A-bomb side.
Single smoke out at the door A side of connector. They'll go down immediately to the right. Anyone behind the smoke? It's in the line of fire, but they give it up. Drop actually is open quite easily. They're well inside of the site. Watch below the ledge because that's where tabseN gets back from KNG. Seal, I should say, was the one down there who did the early damage. Good shot, Kiev. E-reload comes in, no time. KNG's down as well. So they take the site, but they have to pick up the bomb in time. But Legia holds up bolts. Simple and straightforward. Forget all execution. Bomb goes down with 4 seconds left, and there's only 1 gun left in it. It's Lucas. Oh, a little bit quick to judge. I actually thought he heard something behind him. It was above him where they were trying to boost. But 3 versus 1, everyone has picked up an SMG, 3 UMPs, and Kiev has armor to go along with his. Even though he's the one stepping toward the site. Shots out, and Lucas gets baited back in. Kiev finds the kill, and we go 1-1.
Yeah, that's unbelievably sharp from Big. Looking very good there, I have to say. Getting that slow map control, as we described in the pre-game. Pushing the CTs back, taking that vision away. And then for some reason, the big blunder there is Immortals have left drop-down completely open and connector. No presence there whatsoever. They had no idea that split's coming in. Sure, KNG gets the first kill on tabseN. You think that's it, but Kiev, he's got too close to the bomb site. Finds the kills at P250 and Legia. He's stepping up as well. 2 P250 flags. That second one especially, beautiful work. And it will be tied up 1-1. Of course, the force fight in response presumably comes in. We have another pause here, Matt. Hopefully it's tactical. We'll find out momentarily. But they tie it up. Immortals almost certainly going to buy into this one with Deagles, P250s himself, maybe a scout. If Henry's feeling a little bit saucy, you never know.
Well, this time I will say, if it is technical, it looks to be on the Immortals side. No one is behind the computers that were unplugged and replaced on the big side. Looking at the booths from my perspective. I think it's Lucas as well that may have the issue. I can never tell. I said I was going to study that the other day. I still haven't.
The nose ring, dude. That's what it's about.
I can definitely not see that from 50 meters away. I'm sorry.
Bring the binoculars next time. We can work it out.
It's a good point.
If you want to be committed to this job, Matthew, you've got to at least make that sort of commitment.
Sorry, Henry.
It's okay. Yeah, this feels like it's a technical one. So, nothing being purchased as of yet. USPs across the board for Immortals. In terms of Big, after winning that very successful second round force buy, that's quite common if you don't get the bomb down in the pistol, which he did not. They bring that out, and you have to deal from Kiev. He's a player that's been getting better and better, it seems, as well. Like, we've been watching him develop, not only as an AWP, but he's proficient with the pistols and the rifles as well. He's catching my attention. I wasn't that excited when I saw him first join his team. Obviously, he used to play for attacks, and now he's looking like a really strong AWP generally. Like, he went toe-to-toe with Fallen the other day, Matt, and they won the game.
Absolutely true. He definitely had an incredible performance with attacks, getting them into the E-League Season 2. but it's not been something I've noticed as much since he's been on the big lineup until this event. This is when he's finally gotten to the level that, okay, maybe he always had in him, but wasn't able to find, he wasn't consistent with it. We'll wait to get underway again.
Well, the buys starting to come in for the CT side at least. That suggests they're getting ready. It is an Immortals issue. They're buying, and there is chatting going on, I have to say, but...
Oh, it's chatting to the admin from what I can see.
That's right, yeah, I couldn't see it. There we go. So they're working things out.
And the headsets are back on, so we should be ready to roll. Buys coming in for the Immortals side, having just lost the second round after winning Pistol. There won't be as much to go with, but they are going to force into it naturally, try and break the terrorists again right away. We can start talking about it.
Yeah, absolutely. And there it is. The scout just come out for Henny. Here we go. The buyers do start to come in. CZs, Deagles, and a UMP.
So I found out why we had a delay.
Oh, I was hoping you were going to say. I felt bad for him. I felt bad.
I'm going to go there as well. Listen, it happens to the best of us. Not really. Lucas had a sound issue. The issue was because he doesn't know the difference between right and left in his earbuds and had to switch them.
Yeah,
so apologies on Lucas's behalf, but someone sorted it out. They told him, put your hands up, and the one that makes the L, that's left.
Okay, well, there you go. The default play does come in. Here it is. Scout for Henny. I think he's going to drop the scout by Lucas. He's got armor as well. He's the team sniper. KMG can certainly help with that responsibility as well. There's to be big. We know they're a tactical team. They won't want to give anything away. Very disciplined, generally. You can see Tabson boosting out, checking every single angle here, trying to see whether he can find out their first pick. That's usually the first objective here. Make it a 5-on-4. Work out the stack, what kind of weaponry they've got. Use every grenadier possible. This is a quarterfinal of a major. You don't want to get taken down by CZ just because you didn't Molotov a specific position. Now, slowly but surely they'll make their way in. Flashbangs coming through as well. HG's towards the left-hand side. Once they establish drop-down control, they can go towards a platform and see whether they can get that further control of the map.
Wait for it. We know that they'll play a slower style.
Yeah.
Smokes are at the ready. Steel's already tagged and backed off of the E-box position.
That's clever from Tabson, jumping like that, suggesting he's already gone down. He's trying to bait out one of the players on the CT side.
Well, we know you can do that toward the corner at long. It's a very similar sound. So Lagia is going to get challenged. Oh, just barely gets the gun back as Steel emerges from the smoke.
Yeah.
Tabson already to the top. Good shot. Lucas is the one he finds. So even though they start over toward B early on, it's back to A. Good call from Godby, and Tabson starts to roll. Yeah. Number 2 in the round.
It's very good, isn't it? Like we said, get that 5-on-4, show that presence towards B. Didn't even commit towards drop down. Was making the noise, trying to pull the rotations over Lagia. Waits for a person to push through the smoke. Finds that kill, but Bolts is fighting back somewhat. Takes down Nex. Can't find the rifle or the SMG just yet. I'm going to be trying to hunt for further frags. I don't think he can do anything about this. Tabson gets the next kill, and there it is. Almost a clean sweep. Nex did drop, but Big now take the lead. They managed to negate the force fight there of Immortals. Now hopefully, Matt, the headphones are working correctly. We've got the wireless mice plugged in, set up, and now we can really sink our teeth into this. What should be epic quarterfinal, I think, especially the likes of Tabson and Bolts start turning up.
Yes, all the issues fixed. So they have to sit back on the CT side this time, obviously not winning on the force. They'll have to relax for one more to get guns out. It'll be a 3rd round loss bonus. So I imagine Big will play accordingly, knowing they'll be up against pistols. We'll have a, if they go by anything we've seen, a relatively slow start to the round, ascertain information, and then work as a unit toward a site. They've already got good damage on a Lucas. In fact, he's left with just 8.
You can afford to be a lot looser on these sort of rounds. You know you've already had a force fight the previous. It has to be a full eco for the CT. So you can just group up as a 5-man unit and overwhelm them with firepower. That's what Keith's trying to do right now on the Mac 10. It's fine if he even goes down. What's he up to? Oh my goodness! Got it!
The big man's got moves. He showed some wiggle at the end of the last round with some strafe mechanics. Gets inside of danger, and it makes it count as well. Remember, not only is he on the SMG, the kill comes with a knife. So he gets a massive reward, and he is the AWP player, so that will have benefits down the line. Yeah,
$1,500 for one of those knife kills. It's certainly worth it. It's not just showboating. It's financially viable for him to try and go for that. And does the damage initially. Well, I think it was just one slash with the knife as well to finish him off. Great stuff, very exciting. 5 on 2 is going to be Henny and Bolts trying to hold on to the USP. I guess looking for exit frags and more of the goal at this stage, as they will hold up towards the B side, Henny and towards that drop down area. Tabson might find some trouble here, but he's looking like he's got some crisp aim going on, as he managed to find Bolts there as well. Henny waiting to connect that. He might just survive this, considering they've all ran past him. And you have to search for a frag here, if he can. Even if he gets it, it's very unlikely he saves the weapon. But Immortals will have money going to the next round.
Ooh. Headshot from afar onto Tabson. Puts him on 13. He gets a gun down, but all 5 stay up, and they will collect as Nex gets another SMG kill on the MAC-10.
Yeah, every kill, especially at that stage of the game, is so huge in CSGO. $600, and there's the replay of the knife. Keith, what was he down to? 30 HP at that point as well?
It was 30 HP, but I was just trying to point out as well as money, he does go on the AWP. He had 9350 at the start of this round after that knife.
That's great. Orb and AK comes up next, and 3 UMPs as well to join us. So I guess you can call this a little bit of a bonus rank, so they've got SMGs, and they're going to be upgrading to that key AWP you just referenced as well. No kits for Immortals. Now, that's actually a huge deal here, especially against an execution-based team like Big. If they get that bomb down with a wall of smokes, you're going to really struggle to retake the bomb sites. They've obviously got no AWP themselves as well. They are struggling after those 4 spies in the early sectors of this game. 5 and 4s, and now only 2 smokes as well. A few flashbangs to work with, no incendiaries. They're getting bled out very early on in this round.
Smoke dropped. Next it long. Tabson inside of the drop. Clever tactics to disguise it this time. He just goes in cleanly. And take over E-Box as well. Smokes down to the side. Wall of smokes at that. Bolts and Steel are on the inside of them, which means they can't see from Rock. The Tabson has made it through. Henny's in a good spot, though, with the F4. Tries to turn back and find Nex as well. Steel gets Gombi as he emerges. Small gap as well. And it's Lucas to rotate in and find the last remaining player, Tabson, who is sitting in the open the whole time.
Well, they managed to hold off the execution there from Big. We did say a lot of those are going to be coming in at that point. The AWP didn't really do too much. They go for the execution, but Immortals look quite comfortable, I have to say. The lack of utility, just have to hold their breath and try and take the challenges. A few kills with the smokes as well, that's certainly welcomed. And as we get into round number 6, Immortals now managed to get the kits out, and all for themselves, incendiaries. Now they can start to build their own bank balance. That was huge. If they managed to win that round Big, they set themselves up for a very successful half on Cobblestone. But Immortals keep their heads above water for now. All for Henny, of course, likes to be aggressive on the upper platform. We'll see if that comes out at all. He's going to be Molotoved off, has to head towards the steps.
Check for Nex in the smoke. Not as aggressive from Immortals as I might have expected going into the first gun round. They have, ever since the pistol, when the 2 nades landed at long corner, stopped really trying to push in that position.
It's a difficult map generally to go for those first picks. You need to get warmed up and kind of establish your financial situation. Then you can start to give you more risk. We'll see Henny push upper platform at this point. But look at Godby and Co. going towards long, and Tabson, their strongest fragger, who's towards the end of long A.
Decent setup though. KNG can watch lower mid. If they find him first, if Nex is able to spot him and he has to drop backwards, though, he'll be exposed to the corner because Lucas has flashed off. It's Steel yet to have an angle. And Lucas wins it. So far, KNG has not had to move, which means he's perfectly positioned to take down. Nex drops in, knows they're still at long, follows that as well. As Keeve hits the deck, the bomb stays down. It's like, yep, not anymore against 4. At least he was for a moment. 3-3.
Yeah, the money being whittled down now for the big side, and that's 2 really clean rounds from Immortals, I have to say, only dropping 1 frag there, and it's going to be 3-3. Definitely tie things up, and they can start now, maybe flirting with the idea, pushing a little bit more and trying to get the opening picks and allowing Henny to have some of his characteristic dynamic plays. We'll see whether that comes in, but the force buy from Big here. We have seen a few executions so far, shut down in the previous, but that nice boost. It's a beauty to see it that much these days, but thrown in about once a half, it can be very beneficial. The Big one anticipating that. Tabson not really showing us that amazing aim just yet. He had an opportunity to find a kill at APC, but didn't work out for him. This could be a faster play towards B. The gear, he's looking keen to get in there. Drops the smoke, flashbang as well, doesn't push any further.
Won't push any further, and thankfully so. That nade would have done even more damage if he was a step closer. So utility starts to be well deployed from Immortals. They're getting the advantage, it seems, early in the rounds now.
Yep.
Or at least controlling what was originally a lot of aggression from Big. The 2 Tech 9s, they can afford to be quick, but as always, Tabson's the one that leads his way down into the drop room. Nade bounced. Steel's backed off, very minor damage, and he's able to control the situation with a good kill. Brings Lucas back in through the window. Godby goes down.
They have pulled the rotations over towards B, and it's going to be the A side that Big will be finishing up at. 1 minute remaining as well. Keith trying to get this kill at the bed position. Doesn't happen for him. Goes down to 30 points of health. The bomb crosses towards the site. Legia with the backstab as well. That's the huge play here. If he can find a kill and connector and keep them pulled apart, maybe Big have a chance to win this one.
Lucas may spot him, however. His bomb's down. Steel sees the shoulder of Kiev. He's taken out immediately. Oh, he didn't see him at all. Legia, he knows that they've already rotated over off that kill. He's got the back exposed through the door. Thankfully, he just barely gets any, but that brings the attention of Lucas back, and low HP, it just takes a single bullet. Clean defuse, 4-3 for Immortals. They take back the lead after winning and then losing after the pistol.
Yeah, great round by Steel. 3 frags in total. Lucas chimes in with 2, so the 2-man unit manages to shut down Big once again. That was the force buy, but they're getting deep into the loss bonus now with the bomb down as well. Could still buy into this round. Looks like a more conservative approach from what I can see so far. Tech 9s, yes, indeed, and a UMP for Legia. Just trying to keep that money about the 2K mark. They'll have $2,900 going into the next one. If they do indeed lose this, they get even more. They get the bomb planter, which is very lucky with a team like Big. But Immortals now have the lead map. It's 4-3, and the double AWP set up for Immortals coming out. We know this is powerful. Henny and KNG, both very, very good AWPers, and we'll see if they can step up here. One of them positioned towards top of middle, and got B. He's not messing around, is he? He's getting straight down long A. Knowing this could be a possibility, he's going to be committing all in.
Good shot, Tech 9. The damage was all there. KNG goes to 12, but he recovers. Recovers as Lucas finds a kill. Oh, low HP. What if KNG gets down? Good control. Up close and a clean sweep. Immortals keep everyone alive and get their 5th round. Upgrade a few weapons. Pistols mostly.
Yeah.
Double AWP in play.
Looking quite promising here for Immortals with 4 rounds in a row. After losing to the second round forced by Big, they've found their footing here on Cobblestone. Money starting to swell, and Henny with decent spawns as well. As you said, once they get comfortable, they can start taking more chances at that point. They can go towards bottom and middle. They can try and shut down those first picks with Keith, with the AWP as well. Finally, we have some decent cash for Big. 4 AK-47s, full array of utility as well. The smokes and the Molotovs. Both teams fully equipped. We'll see who comes out on top here as Keith wants to challenge with that B side. Drops the smoke. He's pushing through as well. It's missed thrown, so he needs to be very careful here.
Yeah, that's a very small detail that means a lot.
Yeah, now he can't get to the box and actually have a safe position.
Can of Flames deploy both sides. Bolts, good nade, that's healthy. Very healthy.
Wow.
Keith and Legia get nailed by it.
Yeah. I'll send them packing for now. Legia down to 35 HP, but once again focusing on the drop-down run. Thompson leading the way as ever, trying to find the first pick. They have been damaged up though.
Was quick to get out from drop this time, Thompson. Has Godby with him. They've done this multiple times together. Last time they were shut down by Steel at the front, and Lucas jumping through. Steel this time is the one that's at the window. Players at long A, by the way, are quite removed from this. All the way out to the corner, Lucas and KNG. They'll start to rotate now with a flank from Lucas, but they've got to go quick. They haven't spotted Bolts, and they don't spot him until after he takes down next Legia. Good response, however, puts them inside the site, and he's yet to be revealed at KFC, but Molotov will force him out, not only out, but into the hands of Kiev. Bomb is down though, and a good timing. Lucas gets hot on their heels immediately through B tunnels and Legia. He's got to fight. He can't go for the bomb. He's got to get a kill, at least one kill to get toward it. That one certainly helps.
Here we go then. Legia 1v1 situation against the AWP as well, but HP isn't a factor anymore. KNG can watch the cross to the side. 10 seconds remaining. We have a chance here, but he starts encroaching on his position. Bomb should be planted here.
He'll get it down. He'll get it all the way down, but the push coming through KNG stays close. Brings back out the AWP as well, even though Legia is only on 35, but he gets the angle. And the Brazilians get yet another round. They've silenced Big for now 5 in a row.
They absolutely have. Legia, very valiant attempt, I have to say, on the B-bomb side. Didn't expect to hit that shot on the upper platform whatsoever. Nails it. Brings it down to the 1v1. I gave him the advantage as well, considering he's up against that close range AWP. I thought he had that one tied up. Like we said, the HP wasn't a factor at that point, but KNG, very patient, holds the angle, takes him down. 5 rounds in a row for Immortals. That does mean Big can keep buying into this one. You get $3,400 per player, 800 extra with the bomb going down as well. So buy is available, and I can see There's enough for an AWP, but just about. It's 5k on the gear after getting those few frags. I don't think they bring out the AWP this time. They take a pause. This is tactical, of course, just to work out with the players. Why are we not closing out these rounds? We're finding the frags, getting the clutch situations almost in our favor. That was a 2v1, sure, but the 1v1, I thought they might not have finished that one off. The 5 rounds in a row. Immortals looking very sharp here. Haven't really given away much in terms of gun rounds. Double AWP setup still rolling strong. We'll have a look at the scoreboards while we're here as well. Big performance for Immortals. Steel, 11 kills, 4 deaths. Same story for Lucas as well. KNG not far behind. Henny, once again, I called it out, Matt. He's had an up and down tournament, I would say, 1 for 7. But the rounds they're winning, not such a huge deal. But he is struggling towards that B-bomb side.
KNG in the first op goes low at mid to try and fire through the smoke. It means, though, that they've got 3 on A, and not a lot of presence at B, where in which Big is hoping to occupy.
Yeah, and this play is what Henny's known for. Getting aggressive at the start, trying to find the first picks. He's at long A. It's a really scary angle to try and face on the CT side, but doesn't get too much trouble. He will be pushing out, though. Going to be investigating towards top and middle. No one there. This will be another B-sided attack from the big side. The bomb's down in the B halls. Henny's on the other side of the map as well. This could be troublesome for them. Only Bolt's really defending towards that B side. He's there with Steel, but he's in the connector. Surely this is a round where Big have the advantage. If they execute now, they've got a very good chance of taking this round.
Execute or go slow. And they're back inside a drop. Same 2. Usual suspects. Bolts toward the hobbit hole. Thompson's going to heal. Here's Steel running back into the site. Flashed over, he'll go up the lane, but has to turn his back around. He has already found the kill. He gets bolts. He's perfectly positioned to catch off the player that was waiting at the hobbit hole, and Gobby follows up. As Lucas is hot on the flank, though, bomb not yet planted. He times this. He could easily take down the planter. He's got to be careful with his aim, and he's followed it up. Resets it and goes back for next. Gobby and Leguier are so low on HP as well.
Absolute blunder there from Big, not watching their angles at all. You've got 5 players alive. Wise not watching the platform, and Eddie, he finds another kill as well. Takes 2! This is falling apart for Big. He's up to top on 50 HP. The bomb has not been planted. Surely he can't do it. And it's Henny who steps up just when they need him. 3 kills in the round. And 6 in a row for Immortals. Big are starting to crumble. Another pause required, I would say. That's horrific. That should not be happening, man. Why is no one watching the platform?
And Nex couldn't get the refrag, even though the spray was so lackluster from Lucas. And then Q in the brother, he steps up on the AWP, 3 very fast flicks. As soon as he gets that second kill and bomb's not planted, they were already in trouble with the HP, as it were.
5
Beautiful op shots.
Yeah, 5-on-2 situation though. That's
and watch this. This is why it's nice the booths face each other. He's taunting them. Not that they'll have noticed.
That's true. That's a very good point. Oh, I think we have another 4 spy here, but Big down to the upgraded pistol, some armor as well. Need to start converting those rounds if they want to stand a chance here in the quarterfinals. 7-3 the overall scoreline. Single AWP this time for Immortals, but Bolts, he wants to challenge towards drop down, and challenge he will as he finds the first kill. Can't get the doubles, Leguier takes him down with that UMP.
No op shot success from Henny this time, though, as Leguier is able to pick up the M4. He also, having picked it up, deterred the push coming through from Steel that was going to try and flank him out from window and get the refrag. But they're content to let them have position because they don't have anything else to go along with this M4. It's just the one. Although, they can't give him that much room. They have to at least be mindful of his presence because Henny's caught completely off guard, not looking anywhere near the position as Steel's going to go back for it, and Leguier's placed well. As Steel's equally as careless. Could have walked into it, but this could be big. This could be a massive play as KNG wants to flank. They're not going to be looking. They hear him drop down. They line up, though, and he gets both the M4 sprays through. Leguier's got it all to do, and Steel's ready for him. Immortals are alive, absolutely alive with 7 in a row.
Yeah, beautiful stuff there. Great mid-round calls. Equal situation, 3-on-3. KNG asked for the call to get up towards drop down there. He turns to perfection as well. They both run up and they know he's coming as well. They can't do anything about it. The UMP, the Tech 9, trying desperately to defend, sticking behind each other, but didn't work out. KNG finds them. Here it is, the replay. As both players go down. It's 8-3. That was just a partial bite there from the big side, so it won't take too much away from that, but 8-3. Immortals have 1.5, and they've looked at a much better team, I have to say it right now, so far. Round number 12. All power for Kiev once again. And fast play from Leguier. Wants to be challenging that area. Has been hitting some decent shots. He's actually top fragging right now for Big, which is great for him, but not so great for the likes of Big. We need Tabson at the top there. He needs to be delivering a world-class performance to make it to the semi-finals here.
Extinguish the flames with smoke. Shot comes through, but it won't land. 5 on 2 He still already has the one to take the damage early. Backs off.
Laying down smoke. Laying down smoke. Throwing flashbang.
And he again goes to KFC, and Steel on alley can actually, other than playing window or rock, be more effective to support bolts, but they're comfortable leaving him there, and he's going to rotate back around because they don't have any further information. Bombs down toward B tunnels. Could go either direction with 44 seconds to work with, or thereabout. I anticipate A with a split from Tabson. Not a lot of utility left. Tons of kits for the post plant, but not a lot of utility left on the Immortals side. Incendiary, 2 flashes and a nade, and that is it. And the double op late as well, which is going to be K&G inside of the site under pressure. Keith can't open the first one on the T side of the op. Next is able to get Lucas. Tabson's down though. That's the rotations wide open. Good shot, K&G. He wins the first off exchange. He stays on the side as well at 6 seconds. Bombs down, round's over. 4 seconds, it's done. K&G's just got to stay alive. He doesn't even need to worry though because what a no-scope. His teammate was already heading for the hills. He'll lose his op. But the round is done. Bolts just staying alive, secures it.
Yeah, unfortunately, Big looking a little bit out of the depth right now. Immortals, great side, hitting the shots that are required. K&G's getting fired up as well. Those flick shots are really tasty to watch. Manages to take 2 of those down. Like I said, he's had to survive there. Got a little no-scope to finish things off as well. He did go down eventually, but it's going to be Godby with no money to the next round. He saves the AWP and armor, so that's fine. But now we have another tactical pause. This is not the Big we've seen throughout the tournament. Only Solomon Inferno, you have to remember, Matt, but Immortals just looked like the better team right now.
It's not the tactical
prowess
we're looking to see. It's slow, it's defaults. They're getting into drop, and then they're just repetitively doing the same thing.
They're getting to the bomb sites. That's what you need. You're having numbers making it to the bomb site itself. It's just the final hurdle of getting that 1 kill and getting the bomb down. They're wasting a lot of time with that slow play style we just mentioned, but it seems like it's not really working out from the clutches. The players aren't stepping up in those particular situations, but K&G, he certainly is. What was this shot? Looking at the other side, and boom! Takes him down. That was really, really nice. Round number 13. We do have a force buy here, I think.
Well, I was just saying, we do, and you're right to call that. Keep back on the AWP, because obviously they pick up what they can and force anything they can into this 9-3. We've only really seen one wall of smoke toward B. Nothing overly creative from Big, which I was expecting, I have to say.
They've got tactics on this map. They've got great executions towards the A side, especially as we were describing. But you're right, we haven't really seen too much of it as of yet. Still early days. They can get 9-6 here. They're absolutely fine. But that does have to happen, I'd say. I don't think 12-3 is going to be good enough to carry them through here on Cobblestone. Tabson down to a Tech 9. Arguably want him on the AK-47, considering how powerful he can be. Keeve with the AWP, this time making his way towards drop down, trying to find the first pick, but up against double orbs once again. This time, though, it's bolts, not the AWPers on the platform, and Henny will just be trying to bait him in, take that aggro away. And there's Big once again, setting up towards that B side.
The shots from Godby, obviously mask. Keeve going in, quick bounce nade. Anyone that's close. It's AWP in the drop. He's tagged them both. He's absolutely right in his positioning. They'll follow it up as Legia gets bolts, but Steel still stays alive at the rock, and he'll actually put himself all the way over toward KFC. A single nade would take him down. Watch to Henny. Smoke out. He's rotated around it. Finds Legia on the first one. Can't follow it again to next. A chance to work with a man advantage and the HP of Steel, but Steel goes overlooked. Timing everything. Timing off for Lucas as he looks the wrong way. K&G gets back in position. Another 2 plays from the secondary off as Keeve goes back out. He can't get around the corner. It's shut down. 10-3.
Opening kills once again there for Big. It was looking so promising. It's that final hurdle. This time K&G, their nemesis once more. 3 kills to finish things up. Steel was still a chicken coop as well. I thought he was about to shut the round down. He gets 1 kill at the platform position. The thing was so key though, before Henny died, right? He dropped the incendiary at that drop down entrance, meaning the T side was segregated. They had presence at the platform, but they couldn't pin set at the very same time. Just some great utility usage from Immortals. This is looking like a very strong performance from them. It's clinical. They're hitting the shots that are required, and it seems like Big might be out of their depth, I'm not sure. But the executions, the final plays, just don't seem on point right now. They're not hitting the shots required to really justify this really slow pace. Going to round number 14, I don't think this is a force buy. Obviously, Max and Ross bonus lost so many rounds in a row here. Current scoreline 10-3 after winning the second round force buy and getting 3 in a row. it's just dropped off completely. They've got Tech 9s, Deagles, UMPs, left themselves about 2k so they can buy next round. Another execution play, smokes are lined up, no fakes here, sticking together, going towards middle with 2 players and 3 along A. 10-5 still fine. They can pick this round up. This will be a struggle, but it's enough to work with.
Thompson with only 7 kills leads the way on the Tech 9. AWP spots the head. Good shot, KNG.
Monster, isn't he?
Good God, man. He's stepping up when needed. Lucas is able to quickly cover off the push toward the APC. Even though Nex gets a trade back on Steel, he swings out and handles that as well. And they've got an inkling as to where Legia is. They won't exactly know. Oh, yes, why not? Why not, Legia? Give me something to cheer about. Oh, he's actually gotten this side impressive. He's got down 1 versus 2, and he knows there was one more rotating over. He could have easily caught bolts off.
Yeah, decent attempt from Legia, I have to say, but not for naught. Gets the knife kill, it means he gets more money into the next round and can drop the orb. That's actually quite substantial for him. 11-3 though, cannot convert these rounds. Immortals looking very, very good. KNG especially, what has he had for breakfast today? That was absolutely unbelievable, the shots he's hitting. Look at it, every shot just very calm. And we were told how good he can be at AWPing when he first joined his team, but before they've already got a Henny. Why do you need another AWPer? But it's paying off in spades right now. We're going to round number 15. Double all set up Salah, of course. Big need this round. I say that they absolutely have to convert this one. Decent damage inflicted. Lucas might go down here as he sits in the flames, goes down to 18 HP.
Nade thrown bounced off. KNG's right, he knows they're below the ramp, so he adjusts accordingly. No shot landing. Just forced back again through danger. Lucas is going to try and sneak out behind them. He may do it as well. He's caught them off.
So good.
As Kiev rotate backs over and then gets away with it as well. No trade potential. Problem is he does, and he's well aware of it obviously with the Molotov down, but he's got nowhere to go. He's already lost his teammate that was supporting him. If he buys space though, he could potentially bait back in. Not going to, he's just drawing time. He's being a nuisance at this point.
Yeah, they're just focusing on him as well. They have to find this frag. Lucas gets another one, the round's over, but they finally take him down. It's Thompson to get it. A minute to work with. They won't be timing this round out at least. Still though, headshots next through the smoke. Bombs in that position as well. They don't really have much to work with here, but that certainly helps. Got B finds KNG.
Copy. Steel gets one, starts off the shutdown, and they've got it all again. 12-3 Immortals.
Yeah.
This look, again, Immortals win pistol. They get ecoed immediately after. It looks like Big's going to start to run away with it, and then non-stop. Non-stop. Speaking of non-stop, you've got all kinds of stats that never really stop flowing in. If you head to Boomio.com, you can check everything out from the majors, see tips from all sorts of pro players that have been on the stage this weekend already.
Well, first half looking very good for Immortals, I have to say. 12-3 on the CT side. For me, that's just a win. That's a lock-in right now. This would be an absolute catastrophe if they gave this map away, but we'll see. Big, known to be a decent cobble side, and they'll be needing the pistol here. That goes without saying at this point. 4 sets of armor for them, a couple of flashbangs to work with. No upgraded pistols on T side. There's 4 sets of armor for them and 1 smoke. Now, smoke used commonly towards connector, A or B side, depending on where you want to go. And well, it seems like to split towards the A side through the connector itself, or you just go harder towards B and try and overwhelm the CTs with firepower here. Looks like it's the latter. Got B looking to challenge, and Tapson rips off the cat to KNG there.
Needs to do more than that, though, because he's lost his teammate. Steel's got Legia. He's getting overwhelmed. He's trying to pull Nex back in, and Nex getting back in at the right time. They'll coordinate for a crossfire, but Henny still finds a kill, and it's a 2 versus 2. The advantage, though, too big, not only with the kill, but the fact that the bomb is down inside of the site, a site which Steel is flanking. They're going to have no idea where he is. They're starting to anticipate it, though, based on the fact that CTs have gone all the way back through B long. There's nowhere else he really could be. Stare him down in tandem, peek together. Watch that shot potential as Steel is bleeding out down to 28. Clock to get close. Nex confirms that he's there with a re-peek. They won't get over aggressive. There's no need.
Yeah, they don't have to give anything away here. Make him plan, make him get to the bomb site itself. He's low HP, you've done the damage. Stick together, like you said, give him 2 targets. Still, can't do anything with it. Keith gets the final headshot, a must-need list around there for Big. 12-4. And has to keep himself alive there somewhat as we get into round number 2. Don't necessarily have to force play on the T side, they probably will. But this sort of lead could just focus on the AKs going forward. But they're going to bring out the Tech 9s, the Deagles, some armor as well. Very good on the pistols for sure. So Big not out of the woods just yet, and hardly firing on all cylinders. It's not the Big you kind of expect to get to a semi-final at this stage. They have looked amazing for the tournament, 3-0 against some huge names, but it doesn't seem to be the same plan of Counter-Strike at the moment. 3 UMPs, an MP9, and a Famous for Tapson.
Steal down quick. God be ready. I think he's identified the fact that there was more than just the one player dropping in, but moves himself accordingly. The other player mentioned, none other than Henny. He takes quite a bit of nade damage, throws the bomb back up as well. KNG nearly walked off the ledge inside of the smoke to get it. Henny committed. All the rotations have gone toward the B side. Lucas seeing if anyone's going to push all the way through.
Well, here's the final four. The hard work has been done for the CTZ. Now, just hold the crossfires, wait for the final commitment to come in. Immortals should be taken down one by one. Time ticking away. Less than a minute now as Henny gets towards the drop down. He's got a flashbang though. Could find Godby here. Godby is decent at drop down. Knows what he has to do. He might overlook this corner though. That could be an absolute shame. But the timing, somehow for Henny has the knife out of that point as we bolt so. Even back in the round of the headshot taps him.
KNG wants to get through. Lucas was watching flank, no one to worry about in that position yet. Instead, it's in the sight. MP9 Kiev, good firing range. Position as he gets closer and closer. Godby will get the kill in the end. He swaps to the pistol to get Lucas because he's depleted his ammunition in the SMG, but Godby gets the kill, the final kill. 12-5, not done by any means.
Definitely not. Now they've got the pistol in that second round conversion as well. To take it round by round. It's not done yet. And number 18. 2K per play on the Immortals side, no bomb down in that previous round. So this will be the full eco, maybe just a B rush. It can be a little bit frustrating and hold up for the make a mistake, but I'd expect Immortals to go for a straight rush, maybe down towards middle and try and trade a frag. Kiev and Legear go towards long A. It looks like they will be challenged indeed as we head towards top and middle. Emphatic approach here from Immortals, it seems, as they go straight towards long A. Kiev waiting towards middle as well. He will be tested there. Can't give much away. Oh, Legear, the timing's good for all the bar here.
This bounce on the nade actually goes closer to where they walked in from. Still pushing. Bolts is able to get Kiev, so double trade. And a site that's occupied until rotations. Tapson's just barely there in the nick of time before they get to stables, and that may do it because bomb down inside of the site. Henny. It's concluded by Nex. 12-6, they have it.
Yeah, got a bit dicey there, I have to say. The Glocks, and still a little bit unlucky with the timing, so Legear pulling his nade out just as they finally committed. He gives away UMP, but that's about it. Tapson to save the day, joined by Nex as well. First full buy for Immortals, no AWP there. 5 AK-47s, opting for more utility with the flashbangs as well. Not much in terms of the Molotovs. I don't think there's a single one there. It can be quite tricky in a map like Cobblestone. The flushed out positions like the upper platform, the tight corners, hot hole, the tree, for example, is very difficult to actually get into the site while having that utility to work with. Or for Kiev, of course. We'll see if he can start hitting some big shots here. He's on 10 for 13 right now, but it's Lucas going in first, but Tapson taking him down.
Slows the play as Bolts backs off. Oh, goodness. Pucker up and give it a kiss. Napple takes him down to 56, and they'll find Bolts. Good push from Tapson. So no openings for Immortals now that they're on the AK-47 steal. He seems to be the one to want to go after drop. Does land an A directly on top of Godby. And then he'll follow up by dropping himself into the position, but it's being fortified and guarded. Tapson as well is going to be boosted up on the tree. And he'll stay, yeah, exactly, at an angle behind it by which he can see E-Box because they know Steel's in there.
And it's advantage still for the big side here. 5-on-3 to be exact, but here comes the final play. We said that tree position could be problematic, but for Steel, it seems absolutely fine for him. And bring a kill back. 1-3 now.
Next. Does hold off, watches back, he's stuck against the wall though, nowhere to go. KNG therefore is able to put him down once they have the information. Spraying in, he finds Godby, they have opened something up late. Bomb's gonna go in, late Molotov as well means they won't be able to deny it just yet. But it's 2 versus 2, make it down to 1, they've gotta go back for the bomb, and Henny burns alive. The Molotov did just barely get in position.
Yeah. Great play from Big. They've had a lot of advantages in this game that they've thrown away. 5-on-2s, 5-on-3s, but that one they convert. It started to fall apart slightly with Steel finding the opening kill toward that tree position. But finally it's looking decent for Big now, winning the first gun around here. The journey begins. It's going to be 4-0 in the second half. Looking decent. Could they bounce back? Certainly a possibility, as there's another eco here for Immortals. The gap in the scoreline is starting to close. Slowly but surely, this could happen, Matt. Could have a real game on our hands now.
Deagle toward long, Lucas, or Against Legia. Legia backs off. Oh, the nade is perfectly positioned. Taps and gets a kill. Legia realizes he's got company on either side. Identifies correctly which wants to arrive first and gets the kill accordingly. Smoked off as he is, though. They want to try and rush directly by and get toward the A site, but Kyiv waits for the AWP. Should be a clean sweep, and it is. So Big fighting back valiantly. 5 in a row. They bring it to just a 4-round lead for Immortals, who've yet to score or put one on the board, if you will, on the T side.
This is the first time they've got the AWP out. This is the real test for them. They were so hot with those weapons on the CT side, especially KNG. My God, some of the shots he was hitting were unbelievable. Henny, though, on the AWP, like he said, he did have some decent rounds, but slow to get into this game. He still hasn't hit double digits. He's on 8 kills, 16 deaths. So sure, he's had some high impact frags, but hasn't exactly been carrying the AWP out. If I'm Immortals right now, I'm giving that all to KNG all day long.
Absolutely. On this map, 21 kills, he leads the way. Steals behind on 19. But much more of a team game in terms of kill distribution on the Big side. Again, some pressure toward long early A, that is. B has pressure at long from the CTs rather than anyone on the terrorist side, on Immortals side. Bomb down inside of the tunnels as well. Play the pick. 3 players at long could flash each other around the corner. Lucas has gone quite far up and close to the corner, but still just waiting for his time to go. Flashes land, no one in position at the corner. Legia instead at the hay bales didn't get blinded up. He's able to find a single kill. Henny on the AWP is going to try and slow peek, but thankfully backs away and the smoke comes down. He's so low, Legia. He can't find the shot because the reason I was saying it was almost to the benefit of him that the smoke came in is that they were bringing out the AWP in Tabson's hands to try and get a shot, or rather, excuse me, the M4 in Tabson's hands to try and get a secondary shot. Down drop, meanwhile, Bomb is in position, blinded up. Goppy hears them, but doesn't have the vision. Good spot from Nex. Drops the bomb inside, finds the gap, finds KNG.
Yeah, it's really solid CT side from Big so far. Not done in this quarterfinal just yet, it seems. They have a timeout for Immortals here. It's towards long A. Legia's looking very strong. They're confident almost. He's by himself. Doesn't have anyone else to play off there. Takes the jewel, drops the smoke as well. Completely isolates any remaining teams on the other side. He falls back. And it's up to God B to defend the drop-down area. He can't do it, but his teammate Nex, as we said, showing some fantastic form in this tournament, continues here. 4 seconds remaining. Henny has to save the AWP. He's above drop-down right now. Looks like he'll be fine to save the weapon. But Immortals, generally speaking, haven't really impressed me at all here in the second half. 12-9 as we start to close the gap. Immortals time. They haven't had to use a pause whatsoever at this point, but now the sun is looking a little bit uncomfortable and working out what's the play here. Henny with the saved AWP. He's got armor, got a smoke to work with, and no money from not surviving that previous round. His teammates just the maximum loss bonus here, $3,400 per player. A little bit more than that on top, so AKs and armor can come out, but 3 smokes in total, 2 flashbangs. Doesn't look amazing for them. In terms of the predictions here, the pick and challenge is going to be 68% in favor of Big. I guess it's about right, depending where you're from, but...
It doesn't surprise me, actually, just based on how they did in the group stages.
Sure.
I think there was a bit of a bandwagon behind that as well, so...
Yeah, that's fair enough. Round number 22, then. All power for Henny once again. Hasn't been playing amazingly. Hasn't really opened up the maps that much in this T-side. Goes towards the upper platform, up against Kyiv. He's been pretty decent. And he's towards long A this time. Legia changing his position. This is the heavy B focus. So just Kyiv, the only player on the A side of the map. Legia towards drop down, backing up got B as well, where he's had some aggro, but some issues there. So that's why it's good, right, to do it right now after you've shown Legia on that side of the map and having taps in there as well, just to shift him over, a completely different setup to try and counter what Immortals are doing. Oof, that nade. That's
so good again. So well timed. Again, Molotov damage is actually extending a lot further than I think Lucas was ready for.
Yeah,
almost killed him immediately as he goes down to 19 HP.
Well. No kill coming in just yet, but as good as. Lucas down to 19, still at 55. Kyiv comfortable with play by himself, still towards top middle. They haven't really gained anything at the B side. No one in drop down and just getting bullied by the utility at this point. Big looking for double digits, and that's when things get quite scary indeed for the Immortals side. Could they actually throw the 12-3 lead?
Back Back over toward Kyiv. Bomb toward A. Legia's going to have to be hot on his heels to rotate. A timely rotation. Good shot, Kyiv, therefore, to start it off.
Yeah.
KNG wants to slip in undetected towards Stables. He's at least got close to cannons, but wrapping around is the next challenge as Kyiv goes up. Can't quite get the shot, knows that there's two there, therefore sits back and controls the tight angle. So close again. No chance on the third. KNG gets the shot immediately after. Bolts goes close, finds it. And tear down the Berlin wall because they've got a hole inside of the defense. Playing the ball finally on A. The Bolts can cover off, taps in, and Henny finds the rotation of Goffey. The first for Immortals on a T side.
It was looking so good for Big at that stage. Got the opening pick, and I was about to say, Kyiv, with that one pick and alone on the A side, buys him time. He gets towards the bomb side there, and a similar sort of play we saw from KNG. He's holding the tight angle on the bomb side itself, trying to hit the flick shots, jumping around. If he hits one of those shots, they probably win that round, but his Bolt's giving a little bit too much to work with that. As his teammates find frags as well, they take down the players towards the balcony position. That's the first round here in the second half for Immortals. 6-1 is the scoreline. Big cannot find double digits just yet, but they've got a ton of money to work with here. I'd say maybe a half a buy next. Will they lose this round? But still, very well equipped at number 23. Nothing too aggressive there from either side. Kyiv this time seems like he actually wants to push down long A. He was at middle before. Wants to try and find the first pick. That long corridor. It's going to be the B side. That's Immortals are focusing on for now, though. Looking to potentially execute here. Flashbang's going over. They're bleeding out some CT utility on the other side. We'll drop a smoke as well. This will be an A split from what I can see right now, Matt.
Molotovs are there, nades. Well timed. That is huge. Because it's on a reset round. They've already got damage and they'll just fall into the rain. God B! He is the God B as he shuts down drop one more time. Henny in a 1 versus 5. Apparently they didn't bring enough to tear down a wall this high.
Oh, it's just so beautiful. The nade, everything, the timing's the perfection as well. Sitting in front of the smoke, the 3-man spray down. Immortals have no idea what has happened to them. It's big, a really successful round there. Lost the previous, and now they get the double digits. Everyone surviving as well. God B on an absolute rampage. Immortals can do nothing about it. They were setting up for that A split. They tried to get the drop down control where God B's have been allowing them to have. He's been sitting outside the window, but this time he's in there. He's fighting, he's scrapping, and he managed to get all 3 kills. Another time out for Immortals. Footing now in the second. They can get a couple of rounds out of this. Still going to be really weak money for Immortals next round, even if they take a full eco in round number 24.
I'd love to see a stat for how much nade damage has been done in the opening sectors of the round. That's 3 in a row, if I'm not mistaken. They've hit multiple people for significant damage before they're even ready to go.
That's 1 HE in 2 rounds. It's done over 100 damage. Like, that's kind of nuts. Very rare to see them being that effective, especially on a map like Cobblestone as well. Number 24, it's going to be P250s, Deagles, no armor, no loss bonus to really have that comfort. And another nade to the face of Bolts as he goes down to 45 HP. They're having a really rough time in that drop-down area.
Yep, good find. It's dinked up. Spark clearly covers the screen, but he finds the kill anyway. Just 3 rounds for Immortals, but it seems almost impossible at this point. Momentum firmly with Big. Rotations go back over toward A to support Legia. Kyiv's going to sit nearby because, again, Legia on 13 can't do it alone. They'll give him the AWP, in fact, so Kyiv goes on the rifle. Not something we normally see, but it has to do with the AWP positioning. He's able to get a kill as well, so justified. But they lose Kyiv. Q-taps and indeed, we talked about it, he always shows up. He's getting there now, 17 kills. He's catching Legia.
Yeah, he is. Just when they need him as well to close this game out. 13-11, a couple of rounds to go to tie up the scoreline, and there is going to be a buy for Immortals here. As we said though, money is going to be weak generally. 4 AKs, a good little for Bolts. In terms of utility, 2 players with any nades whatsoever, Matt. We have 3 smokes total, a Molotov. What's the play here? Do we just go fast? Do we just push straight into a bomb site? We haven't really seen that from them yet. So quite slow and quite default play for Immortals. They're expecting faster rounds coming in. When they can really get rolling on the teams out of Cobblestone, that's when they look their scariest. But only posting 1 round so far. It's 8-1. This could fall apart. The 12-3 lead, surely not. A boost comes in, mixing things up once again. Every round is just so smart. Perfect calls now as God B is ready and waiting, but next, same story as they walk in towards the B side.
Next is waiting below the broken wall. Bolts is going to swing behind him, and they look over, so Kanji gets it open. That gives them the front side of the site to work with. Thompson drops the bomb, but they get 2 ensuing kills, therefore have control.
Yeah, much simpler round this time. 1 smoke, few flashbangs, 5 men towards the upper platform. That's what I'm saying. We haven't really seen that at all. Just simple, basic Counter-Strike, and use your star players to open up the bomb side there. Bolts especially, lovely shot from him. Still chimes in as well, and you can see Big, they weren't really ready for that one. It's obviously that they're waiting for the execution to come in. They want the wall of smokes to give them cues so they can throw the utility back. That's what they've been so good at so far, is deploying the HE grenades, locking players out with the utility. But that's not really an option. They help themselves to the B side like that. That's what we need to see more of from Immortals if they're going to close this game out. But this will be 2 saved weapons now. Kiev and Legia holding on to the AWP and the M4A4 as well. Plenty of money available for Big. They can certainly buy around these weapons, but don't want to give anything away for free. But Legia is fighting back. 2 kills for him. That's not bad at all. We know the Immortals' money is low. So every kill they get at this point is definitely worth it. Even the fact he goes down, it doesn't matter. He's got a ton of money in reserve. They do not. 1 round they can pick up here, Big. They're back into this, and they shut it down. We have another pause coming through.
You mentioned Henny, by the way, early on, saying he hasn't really showed up. He got the 3 brilliant kills in the 5 versus 2 with his brother when they retook the B site, rather with denying the bomb plan. It wasn't even really a retake. It never had to come to that. But other than that round, he has been quiet, even on the CT side. Now, T side, admittedly, it's not like he can do as much to get aggressive with the AWP, more so because they haven't had the money for it. But he definitely has not been in this game in the capacity that I would have expected and wanted from him.
I've been noticing this throughout the tournament as well. I kind of mentioned it in the pre-game. It's KNG who's been AWPing primarily throughout this tournament. He hasn't looked himself, Henny. He's kind of looked a little bit out of his depth in terms of the shots he's hitting, and it's maybe the aggression we're used to seeing from him not happening. And KNG, he looks lights out. I'm not sure why he's just not taking the main AWP role. At this point, we're in the quarter-final and things are falling apart. I just think that Henny, you're having a nightmare. Let me just do the main AWP at this stage. And he just has to make that call. It's a difficult one to make, but sometimes it has to be done. Well, number 26, 14-11. Immortals, though, they're winning the previous round. There's a huge chance it can get reset. Need to be very careful. It's another fast approach. This is what we wanted to see, Matt. To stay together, group up, get in those bomb sites.
Kiev is not quick enough. He does find one on Bolts as he looked back down toward E-Box, but that means he was pushed and pressured from both sides. Good flying from Tapson to get alert late inside a connector. Shuts down any threat coming in from Immortals. And as you mentioned, just a chance to break the money once more, and Big would be right back into it at 14-12, potentially get a 13th round on the back of it. So slow it down. The Twins again, this time 4 versus 2. So one better than they won last time they worked together on the CT side. Have to be weary of the flank walking around. Thompson's getting closer and closer. His timing's going to be perfect. They're spotting the open. Ball down. Thompson gets both. And Big find 12 would break the economy. They certainly have control.
This is like double eco territory for Immortals. If they have a pause left, this would be the time to work out what's the play, to be forced by into this. We've got 4 players with less than $3,000, 2 of which very low indeed, beneath 2,000 in fact. Tapson, lovely work there. It's a clean round for Big as they close the gap. Scoreline's 9-2. Immortals getting shut down. They're trying to mix things up. They're trying to go faster now. The simpler plays, as I said, we haven't really seen that from them. It was great for the previous round, but that one just there didn't really work out for them. Tapson with a nice flank, and there will not be a force by him. It's round number 27. Things looking desperate now for the Immortals side. It's Tapson, aggressive of course towards the platform. Finds the first headshot. This takes down Lucas. Legia, that's not bad at all.
Wow.
He finds 2 kills as well.
5-2. In terms of manpower, it's a very good job against the anti-eco situation, or rather with the anti-eco situation. Scompi gets himself in position through the door. 1-point game after 12-3 on the most sloppy, I guess, T-side we've seen from Big throughout the course of the event. Tapson gets KG. It's only Henny remaining. Needs kills on this P250 just to get money again. Ooh, nearly gets one. Good tag, but 3 players there waiting for his arrival. We have 1 round between them.
Who would have thought? The CT sides. Well, as I said, the money's still not going to be great. Could have been double eco territory if they wanted to be, but they've opted for the buy here. Henny, just the CZ. Balls down to Galil. UMP to KNG. I think I've painted the picture for you. It's quite a bleak scenario for the Immortals side. They do have the utility to work with. That's what they've opted for. This will be some sort of set piece. We need to see like a wall of smoke. You can't really just rely, I'm running into a bomb site. With this sort of weaponry, we're going to have to deploy everything we've got. Throw the kitchen sink at them and see what's available as we get into round number 28.
Taps in, taking out K&G. Good shot. Starts it off again against Guns. Down to 50 HP, but it's a decent. Oh, not again. Not again. Another massive nade. These guys are timing it to perfection. Tapson's already got the kill. He gets all the damage required. And on top of that, they're blinded up. They're standing and they're burning alive. They have no idea they're sitting on top of the flames. It's a marshmallow fest. As Goppy gets back inside, and he's going to be the best to shut down Steel. They'll lose themselves inside of the smoke, but watch for the apparition to emerge. Next. He's not haunted by any ghosts to Begule. Bomb left down on top of the platform, and another shot to tie it up. Legia's got it, 14-14.
They're looking hot right now, Big. They're managing to hit all their shots, working perfectly as a unit. I wasn't believing coming to the second half from what I saw in the first, but this has been a marvelous performance for them. And you're right, tying things up at 14-14. That was the force buy for Immortals as well. They're going into round number 29 with pistols only. That's it. They're force buying in with Tech 9 CZs. And it's the nades once again, Matt. How much damage they do with these HE grenades over and over again. Playing out of their minds right now in the second half. The Gears after 28 frags, well known as the biggest fragger, arguably one of their weakest players, stepping up and going huge here in the quarterfinal.
Invigorated. Just come under some criticism in this event for all sorts of things we all know about. But they've stepped up when it matters, and they actually are in a position to find map points against just pistols. Another nade potentially, this time Molotov. Incendiary to be specific and precise.
Yeah.
That's a nade though, and it'll do damage again to the corner. It's not quite 100 damage, but
it's still decent. We'll take it.
Yeah, still see. I mean, the guns don't even have to do the work. You talk about M4s not being one-shot headshots. Well, okay, they are if you do 50 damage every time with a nade.
This must be the most damage of HE grades we've seen in a single half. It's unbelievable the work they're doing with those. It's lesser utility, really. It's the one that's not purchased the most. They're often opting for the smokes, the flashbangs, and the Molotovs. The HE is like a luxury sometimes. Oh, now the crowd are coming to life. They're believing. Here we go. Pistols, the final play towards the B bomb site. Immortals have to dig so deep this one. Lose this round. It's pretty much over. Still no money. Final flashbang. Here we go.
Through the smoke, it works. They don't spot next to the archway. They'll get him back. And on top of getting him, they actually do find Gobby immediately before. So it's a 2 versus 2, but Keeve with the AWP continues to look hot in this event. And a fast flick puts Matt Point on the board for Big First.
Nothing to work with there for the Immortals side, just pistols, armor, hoping someone can go absolutely wild with a Desert Eagle, find an opening pick, just something, but they couldn't get those openings. This is a 12-3 half. They've fallen apart. It seemed like Immortals were controlling the pace of this game. They had everything going for them, that double AWP setup, the K&G performance. But this T side, just nothing has excited me at all in that play. They haven't really had the basics down. The map control hasn't really come in. They haven't had any clutch situations really. It's all just been whitewashes, getting completely wrecked at the drop down room, especially by HE grenades as well. Final pause comes in. I should say 3 out of 4. You get what I'm saying. And Galil's, Deagles, Tech 9s. This is all they've got to work with here. Next, nice work to get the double frag there. And Keeve, he's stepping up once again here at this major. The coach is feeling it as well.
Goppy just ecstatic, as he should be. This team is the surprise of the tournament. What a package they've put together. 1 round to be 4-0 in total, and 1-0 in an all-important quarterfinal. Pressure on for Immortals, and not a lot to work with.
Definitely not. Galil's Wolfpack mentality towards Long A, but it's Legia. He's having the game. We'll see if he can hold them off once again. Drops the incendiary, but this time taken down by Steel.
Moves to danger. So first pick finally for Immortals. Not something they've had and been able to secure very often.
And they upgrade one of the pistols to an AK now, getting stronger and stronger. A real chance to take it to overtime. They'll be there aggressive towards Long. Not the greatest position. Can get flashed off there. It's a one and done technically, but he can get backed up by his teammates.
Boost for Tabson.
I like that boost though. This is exciting. The Tabson can cause some damage here, but they are focusing primarily towards long A. He's going to have to turn around and back up God B. Good smoke though, perfect smoke.
Slows them down, partially blinded. Can Tabson see above it? That's the better question. Missed time from God B, and we might have overtime on the cards. Tabson's forced off of it. It's a 5 versus 3, and he's got caught out by KG wrapping around. Of all times to not be able to shut them down. Oh, Nex. So close to taking out Steel. 2 HP, a WP for Kiev. But he's got to go a lot further than just one kill. In a panic situation toward the vent because bomb planted. He has a kit, but no further utility. And he's stuck on the AWP, at least for now. If he wants another gun, he's got to get a lot closer. Wrapping around as well, even if he goes toward the huts. Bolts finds him from the top of the ramp, and we've got extra rounds.
We're going into overtime. It didn't look likely there. Immortals struggling tremendously on this T side. Great half from Big, I have to say, but falling at the final hurdle there. Everything's reset now. The momentum does not carry through. 10k per player. MR3 will be first and 19 at the top of the scoreboards. 18-18, we do all over again. We do not swap halves, and Immortals stay on the T side here. And it seems like they're finding more success with these simpler plays, just grouping up, focusing on long A, finding that first pick as well. The gear that went down first has been an absolute monster in the second half. Round number 1. CTs have to be very careful with their economy here. Key with the AWP, no head on by 3 players, not really required, not be up against any SMGs or anything like that, but here we go. Faster play towards B. This could be a straight-up rush. All 5 players towards the upper platform. Here we go.
They're in. They're going. Next to Tabson are not in position. They're not ready for it. They've got to get the first kill, shut them down. They've got to be early on the denial of entry. So far they trade, but trade's not yet enough if it's chaotic and allows for the bomb plant, and better than trades, Henny's able to slip up and find Nex, leaving Kiev again in another 1 versus 3, and Op purchased overtime. MR3, he's bailing, he wants to keep it.
Yeah, has no choice there. It costs a lot of money to bring the AWP and the armor out, some basic nades as well. You're not left with much money at all. He's actually only got $3,900. 1,400 on top of that next round to have to save his AWP.
Great call to change the pace.
Why
we
not?
didn't see that from them all.
You've got these star players, these raw aimers. Pound for pound, Immortals do out-frag Big pretty much every single time. And why are you not just focusing on that? Say as a 5-man unit, get that rush going on. Instead of getting the defaults and getting wrecked by HE grenades, this is get in there. Let's start hitting some shots. Let's let our star players have some movement. And it's Henny who gets 2 frags into the round, and B-Rush is all the call they need, apparently. I like that a lot. First time they've done it, it works out for them. They go down 1-0 here. Nice way to kick off overtime. Great call. Just the first bandit rush. What you're usually aiming for, the rule book, the strategy book, whatever you want to call it, goes out the window in overtime. You're trying to think back, what worked there? How can we adapt what we've currently been doing? Why are we getting shut down across the board? And now, to stick together, I like it. Simple, but effective. Number 2 now. Still with the AWP, of course, after saving it in the previous. Money, though, if you lose this round, you're left with pretty much nothing. You get UMPs and pistols. When that 2-0 comes, you need to be very careful. Manage the economy well. If you have to save, sometimes it's better just to do that and think about the future instead of trying to have the heroic plays.
Close proximity to the doorway. Yep, he wants them to walk in, and they do. Thank you very much. I'll take charity at any point in time, as Lucas is at least able to trade it back by getting God B toward drop. Kiev double scoped, wants the first shot. Jump across, forget it, he'll flick. Will flick indeed. Oh, nearly gets it. Molotov will lock down the position, flash up over the wall. He wanted to re-peek it, but got blinded himself. Creative way of doing it. Bit optimistic in how much distance he has to travel. Watch that smoke. And watch the boost on the reverse side, because they've just put KNG up with the op. Kiev's got to be a lot more careful about how he chooses to re-peek. Flank heading toward Legia. Smart reposition for the CT side of AWP and Kiev, but Nex on the stairs, traded out immediately. Kiev, as I mentioned, repositioned though. He's controlled, but not the speed for the second kill. And overwhelmed is Tabson behind the rock. Where is this coming from? Immortals finally getting space, but bombed it. Oh, missed shot. Legia had to hit that early. And bring it to the one-on-one as soon as the bomb was planted. Now the element of surprise gone, but still he's able to push through. Bolts is not ready for it. Lucas comes back through toward window. Legia backs it off. He's got a smoke. He's got the kit. But if he goes immediately on top of it, Lucas is going to play aggressive so they can't hold it. He might have gotten away with it, but there's no sense chancing it if he still has time. Molotov close side. This is going to be the hold because it's going to force him back. He's got to go wide around. He's protected. What a brilliant Molotov! What a brilliant Molotov to force out the time and position.
Very calm. Great work there from Legia. Knew exactly what he had to do there. I was about to say as we were building that one up, he's got a smoke and an incendiary. He can lock off two key points of the map there. Wherever he's going to be struggling. I thought he dropped the incendiary towards drop down, then goes to that defuse. It's the only place he could be is connector or the drop down room. He could be doing to the full defuse of that plant as well. The incendiary towards that area. He's done it, but like you said, even better perhaps. Covering himself with a smoke. Little smile there perhaps. He knows he's enjoying himself. He's having one hell of a game. Probably the best performance I've seen from Legia in quite some time. Rush middle. It's up to Immortals now to dictate the pace.
That nade again.
It's happening.
It's absolutely slaughtering them. As KNG at least trades at this time, but it gives Legia again a chance. Smoke down. He's got to push through it because he's given up A, and we're always being watched, but not anymore. Patience. Patience not anymore either because Goppy's got the kill, but he's still in a good position. KNG knows it. He's going to go hunting for him. Spots the head, but can't get the shot. A big whiff. Leaves them locked on twos. HP relatively even. But advantage to the bomb plant. Legia tagged through the door. Wasn't ready for bolts to appear. AWP for Kyiv to win the first overtime half. He's spotted in the open. His steal goes high. Immortals get two. Big only get one.
Immortals do get two after having a shocking regulation side. They've seemed to have adjusted themselves, kept it simple as go for these rushes, but you're right, that nade once again in middle. How much damage can be inflicted with the HEs here? It's unbelievable. And this problem is they're trying to stick together, they're trying to keep it simple, and that's going to be a massive issue. You get an HE thrown at you, it lands in the massive group of the players there, but still they recover. And the clutch not working out with a decent flank from Legia as well. And he stepped up tremendously for the big side, but wasn't quite enough. They switch over to the T side now, where they struggled as well. Remember, it's 12-3 in the first half. Do they have a similar mentality? They start grouping up and saying, let's stick as that five-man unit. They're getting wrecked by the double orb setup, and that's what's coming out once again. Immortals, KNG especially. He was quiet in the second half. I'm expecting some huge things now.
He's getting cheeky with the T-side at all. He's had most of his success, to be fair. How does it always seem to go that when T-sides have a struggle in the regular 30 rounds, and you hit overtime, and suddenly they appear with a change in pace and urgency? Watch out for Godby to check corner. If tactics weren't a thing the first time they played on the T-half, they might need to be now. Slow pace again. KNG's watching down to bottom of middle. Penny on the other op is towards Chicken Coop, and they're still not deciding on the big side where they want to go. Very patient from Immortals.
Indeed.
Not flying into any of the slow play from Big, not going for information that could cost them.
One more round from that point. Don't want to give anything away here. Especially on that CT side, don't want that money to start dwindling away. It will be an A-sided attack. Thompson once again a drop down. His four teammates waited to execute, but they did run out of time. They weren't managing that correctly in regulation. It's going to be still to fight Thompson. That's a key frag. Here comes the final commitment there, but Legia hitting shots once again.
Good opener. They know Lucas is toward the barrels. The problem is to get far enough inside of the site to get it. They have to cover off the balcony. They've done that. And down they both go. Bomb plant follows immediately as Steel goes down to next. Very good entry, and it wasn't strategical. It wasn't tactical. It was just straight up entry kills. And leaves Henny. 1 versus 3. It was 4. Chances of anything beyond that, pretty slim. Doesn't have a kid either, so backs away. 17-17.
Indeed. It's 18 required from that point, but Big do tie things up. Slow and steady as usual, but this time much better. I thought Immortals could pick that one up, considering one of the key scalps for Big went down first. Taps into that drop-down room. They go towards A. They stick together. Legia opening things up. He managed to get 2 frags in total. He's having one hell of a performance, I have to say. Kyiv with the AWP as well. You said it's a little bit cheeky in the T-side, but it works out for them that round. And then a pause comes in once again. This must be the final pause now, I think. Not a lot of them. Just a chance to calm down, work out what the play is. We didn't see the best T-side from either of these teams. So tactical time for Big, yes indeed, their last one. 4 out of 4. A chance for the coach to chime in, give his input. help out God B with this final call to get them to map point potentially here. Double up setup. Not sure it's a possibility right now. We'll have a look. Single. So yeah, Henny, he gets the only AWP here. And again, I have to say, Matt, why is KNG not AWPing on the CT side of Cobblestone?
He's been much better, to be fair.
He's got 28 frags, Henny 13. Sure, he is the main AWPer, but you've got to ask yourself, like, if someone's not playing that well, maybe it's time you just took the rifle and gave him the responsibility.
Yeah, absolutely. Playing to the strengths. He has certainly been one, KNG.
Like he's been anchoring the A side as well, meaning you have 4 players towards that B side of the map. I think that's the call for me, but who knows what's Henny up to this round. He's decent in the B bomb side generally. This hasn't really arrived apart from one very important round.
Spray through the smoke. Next will jump across. This is only map 1, let's not forget. Immortals allowed Inferno to come into the pool. SK were bested on by Big. Not so sure we can still say they're the little brother anymore, Immortals. I think they're emerging from the shadow at this point. In this event, they are legends, rightfully so. Oh, look at the nades again. This time it's against Big. They're the ones caught off by a really well-thrown double Molotov play. Tapson and Gobby get trapped between it. They know they were going for that position every time in the first half. First time they played T-side. Next, it was snapped to his perspective, but it's Legia instead that finds Bolt on the other side. Steal, he slips behind them, but will that go undetected or not? Tapson's ready for it. And Big, for their second time, might find the first map point of overtime, their second of the game, that is. Lucas is the last alive. Nade thinks about it. It would have been a kill. He'll continue to try and do what he can. Pretty much has to at this point in time. And through the edge of the door, they spot him. Gobby's able to capitalize. 18-17 for Big.
Once again, it's Legia opening things up towards that B side. That's a huge weight off their shoulders, guaranteeing second overtime if required, and the money's going to be broken for Immortals. We described it in the build-up to this overtime. Go 2-0 down, and then left with pistols, and saved M4 from what I can see. The KNG had some more residual cash, so you get the M4A4 out too. 3 smokes and flashbangs, 4 pistols, and a riot ball. If ever there was a chance to close it out for Big, this would be it. One round will do it. Immortals to dig deep once again. Can they find anything with the Desert Eagles and the CZs? Here we go, just building up once more.
Kiev watches wide side of the smoke as they continue to approach. Legia will be the leader. The hard charge. Tapson's gonna go solo this time. Down drop, knife out, they jump in. Bolts is ready, Bolts goes undetected. Bolts finds 2, almost to third on a 5-7. But Tapson makes his way in from the E-box from drop. And bomb down, they have the advantage. Lucas with the deagle only to work with no kits. KNG down, rifle gone. The comeback might in fact be complete from the German side, even if they needed extra rounds. From 12-3 down, Lucas will walk in, it's all up to him, and they're ready for it. They'll spot him out as he goes around the corner, everyone faces, whoa!
No
Lucky shot to find Tapson as he repicks back out. AWP has to back off from Kiev. If he finds the shot on Gobby, don't rule him out. Boom. He's got it as well. He's only got 12 HP, but he's lost track of where Kiev is. The shot, he's on it. Kiev, why is he not peeking? Goes for the knife. Oh my goodness. You talk about config, BM. Take that and stick it. He throws it back in Immortal's face. A risky play, but Big